To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. So I'm back at the tiny house build again today. It's a very chilly morning at about 34 degrees. We had ice on the ground, so I suspect that we're probably below freezing this morning. I have the Franklin wood stove all fired up down there at the camper. Now, I do want to mention, because I keep hearing people say we need to be in this place by wintertime because we're not going to be able to survive in the camper. I can't use this stove because we don't have any firewood that is below 20% moisture. And with these new type of stoves, they're high efficiency stoves that have like a catalytic converter in it that burn the smoke is what it does. So burning that smoke is what does primarily all the heating. Well, when you have high moisture content firewood, it burns up those catalytic converters. So the lowest moisture content I have is 24%, and that's in poplar wood. I don't even have that much of it. Even the deadfall is pretty high moisture. You're supposed to wait a year after you cut it up and split it. So you can't use the stove. Somebody said, why don't we get a propane? Well, then if I'm gonna get propane, I just will buy firewood that's already dry. So no, we'll just stay in the camper. And this is not the first year we've stayed in the camper. We've lived in the camper for 3 years, traveling the country as nomads, and every winter we've been in Missouri. Now, speaking of weather, I ran out of time. It's apparent. The forecast, this is Friday. Of course, you're gonna get the video several days after I produce it. On Sunday, it's supposed to start raining, and it's gonna rain all the way until Wednesday. So I'm gonna have to cover the roof up with tarps. I'm just not gonna finish it in time to get the OSB on. I really had hoped I could, but you know, I only get to work a few hours a day, then I got to get back to my regular job. I try to come up in the evening also and do some work. Like last night, I was able to get some done. So I'm gonna just do what I can today and tomorrow. Well, today, I guess, pretty much is I'm gonna do what I can. Tomorrow, I'm gonna have to get the tarps on. I'm gonna have to finish up getting all the house wrap on because there's spots that I still need to get Tyvek tape. I wanna see, so you see that, T-Y-V-E-K. Tyvek tape. I gotta get some of the seams taped up. This corner needs a house wrap on it, so I need to get all that water barrier up before it rains. So Saturday, I think that's what I'm going to focus on, is just getting things covered up. But the thing is the timing couldn't have been better. As you know, I only spend $500 a month to build this tiny house. Our goal is to spend $5,000 or less on it. We've went over budget this month because I had to buy tools. The wood was $375 for the rafters, so we stayed under budget. But the tools, I had to buy these drills, and I also had to buy a ladder. So that was an extra 200 bucks. So we went over 100 bucks. That's okay, because the weather's getting ready to hit, and then my next payday will be after the rain event is over. So we'll be able to go back to town, get some more 2x4s, finish up the roof real quick. So yesterday I started working on the north and south wall overhangs. And so I'm gonna go outside and show you that now. I tried to get a picture of that in yesterday's video, but it didn't turn out, so I had to edit it out. I was very disappointed. So you should be able to see now that I have an overhang on the north-south wall. And I also have overhang on the east-west wall. So the east-west wall, that is the trusses. That came out as I was building the trusses, but I had to add these. And so that's an interesting process. I had to do the top two, the peak, differently than the rest of them. So the peak isn't quite as strong as all the rest. So I'm gonna go show you how I did that, and then I'm gonna do the north wall today. So I'll show you the difference on what I'm talking about here. So the north wall doesn't have those rafters yet. And see, there's another spot that I got to tape up before the rain hits, right there on the house wrap. So these are all the 2x4s I have left. I got one that I'm using as a brace, so I can brace that up. As soon as I can get the plywood on the OSB on the roof, I can take that one down. That would free that one up. So I'll use 4 2x4s to put on the overhang. That's exactly what I got. I got 4. So I'm going to come to a screeching halt, but like I said, the weather worked out perfectly on this. It's amazing how this lifestyle, the off-grid lifestyle, things seem just to work out now. Life is just not as stressful as it used to be. So I'm going to climb up here on the ladder now. I'm going to show you how this works. So here you see a groove, a notch. So I notched this board and this board, 1 3/4 down, 1 3/4 up, and that allows me to slide it in, and then I have my foot overhang. Then the rest of it comes back here and gets tied into the next rafter, keeping it from just falling over. That's actually a nice support system. I really like that. Now, like I was telling you on this top one though, wasn't able to do that because I have my gusset plate there and I don't want to weaken the structural integrity of the gusset plate. So I just had to kind of put one up like that with a board connected to a board. It's not as strong, but you're not going to get a lot of weight on it anyways. It's just an overhang. So if it does fail, it's not that big of a deal. You know, let's say 20 years it decides to give way. It's easy to fix. It's just not that hard. So, but I'd rather have that as the weak spot than weaken the truss itself. I had a commenter tell me that I probably wasn't brave enough to stand on my truss. Said it's not strong enough. I bet you're not brave enough to stand on it. Well, I was standing on it all day yesterday, so I am brave enough. That being said, it would take a lot of time to be editing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump up there. I'm going to use my step stool, and I'm just going to hang from it so you guys can see that it is very strong. So I hope that helps dispel the myth that 2x4s can't be used for trusses on a 12-foot building. Since I am up here, I thought I'd go ahead and not only hang from the truss, but I thought I'd go ahead and show you that I can stand on the truss. So here I am standing on one truss. So no, I'm not afraid to stand in my own work. So I'm going to start building my overhangs for this wall over here. Okay, so now you can see that I've got this whittled out. I haven't actually tested it. Okay, so that's how that will work. So now I have to do that on the rafter also, because if I don't, then it's going to stick out like that. So it'll interlock is what it'll do. When you do these kind of cuts, please make sure you wear safety glasses. You should always wear the safety glasses when you're using the circular saw, but in this case, it throws out some beefy little chunks of wood and it hits you in the face. It stings pretty bad. So you're using screws as a temporary holding device. Don't screw it all the way in. If you sink it in to the wood, sometimes the screw won't come out. It'll just separate the boards. And then you got to hammer it out. It really tears out huge chunks of wood when you do that. Okay, so I got this side completed, and I got a lot faster at it than I did yesterday. Yesterday I took about 6 hours. Today I'm maybe at 3, so I cut my time in half. That's just what happens when you get more skilled at it. My first rafter, oh, it took me 2 days to get it, 2 or 3 days. By the time I got to this one, man, it may have taken me a half hour. Now these are the overhang. Now I can put my plywood down. This one, as you can see, I did not create a notch in it like I did this one. I set it right here. Then I put a board up against it, screwed into the board and screwed in this way. Again, I realize that's not going to be as strong, but I don't want to cut into the gusset plates. I also had a support that I screwed right up against the wall here, up to here. That kept this from moving back and forth. Well, I removed that because it got in the way, and I put a support here where I kind of angled it. This one support holds all the rafters square because they're all interconnected. Well, right now they're interconnected by this board here. This board runs the length of the house. So this one support holds the whole thing. I think I'm going to leave this support here. It really did firm everything up when I did that. I might even put one at the other end because this is going to be the north-south wall, and wind's always going to be hitting this wall pretty hard. So I might just leave that there and create an attic floor around it. It's not like we're going to be up here utilizing that space. So tomorrow I'm going to be wrapping this place up, getting ready for the rain. I hope I can encourage you to create something today. Thanks for watching.